drag racing fan, a special Between the Slicks here on Monday morning. It's not Thursday night. We will be live Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Still working on some guests. As I said, though, we're thinking about Lou Santiago, Fast Jack Beckman, and Chip Lofton. That's who I hope is the card for Thursday night. But as you can see in the ticker below, this is a pre-Gainesville, pre-Gatornationals Leverich Racing update. Yes, that great, wonderful, independent, top fuel team that gives the two throttle wax Leverich Racing. Well, look, let's bring in the driver, Joe Morrison, and also the car chief, Matt Hanley. Guys, how are y'all doing today?
Fantastic.
Awesome, guys. Awesome. Well, look, I know everyone is excited for Gainesville. And, folks, look, if you've got any questions for Joe, the driver, got any questions for Matt, the car chief, you definitely drop those in the comment section. We'll get those up, and we'll have them answer them for you all. Joe, I want to go to you first. You were not in the car at the U.S. Nationals, and you're going to be back in it this weekend. So for anyone that may not know, explain why were you not in the car and why back this weekend?
You got it. So it's kind of funny. We put out a press release and we tried to be real clear about what was going on. We were not planning to run Indy originally. And so Monday morning before Indy, Gary gave me a call and said, "Hey, man, I know you got an event this weekend with Right to Breathe, but is there any way you can get to Indy?" And I said, "Man, I wish I could, but if I bail out on this thing," it was a huge fundraiser car show that we did with a minor league baseball team in New Jersey called the Somerset Patriots, and we had that event scheduled, with the idea that we weren't going to be racing at Indy. So at first, Gary and I talked. He said, "Well, I was thinking about Todd Payton." I said, "Cool." And I mentioned to Gary, I said, I think if Todd can't do it, I would love, I think Cam Ferre would be good. And I know that Matt had suggested Cameron also. I don't know, Matt, when we get into you can tell your piece of that puzzle too. But I had that previous commitment, but we had also just included a new piece of data recording for the clutch can. And I really, I know Gary wanted to get some data. He wanted to get some qualifying money. And I didn't want to stand in the way. Like I mentioned to somebody else, as far as Leverich Racing, I'm not about me, I'm about we. And what was best for the team was for the team to go out, even though I couldn't be there. And the other piece of the puzzle is this. Look, 2020 has been a crazy season, right? With COVID restrictions and all of that. And so my thought was, with some of the potential sponsors we're talking to, I wanted to go into the 2021 season with my rookie status still intact. And so the idea with that is, I could only do 4 races this year. And if Gary wanted to go to Indy just to ideally to collect qualifying money, then really it would be better for someone else to be in the seat for that event. So that way the team could get the data. They could ideally, and they did. I mean, Gary, they accomplished, Gary accomplished what he wanted to accomplish with the whole team. Like I said, I didn't want to stand in the way of Gary doing what he wanted to do. I wanted to make sure the team was able to succeed, even if I wasn't there for it. So all good. I mean, look, 300-mile-an-hour run. We also had data from the linear as well as clutch pressure. So we're going to be able to get into that clutch can and really fine tune a little better. So I think what you're going to see is our performance is going to continue to increase. We're going to be more and more competitive as time goes by because of that data. And hell, I can't wait for Gainesville. I mean, oh my goodness, I can't wait, A, to see my racing family here at Leverich Racing, and B, to get back in that car and stomp on that throttle. And, look, man, I fully expect us to go out there and run, 390s, 300 plus. And honestly, this car should run high 380s right now. So I don't know. We're sneaking up on it. I don't know that we'll hit the 380s this weekend. I don't know that we won't. So we'll see. We'll see where it all goes. But I can't wait to get back in the seat.
Stellar, man. I'm glad that you're excited to get back in that seat. Tammy, thank you for watching. She says, Joe, you're one of the great guys. And I definitely agree with that. I think you've got to. Yes, Tammy's in here. Tammy's in here. Tammy, thank you for being a supporter of Monday Morning Racer and the Leverich family team as well here on the broadcast. So, yeah, man, we're looking forward to you being back in the car. Matt, look, talk to me. What is your side of Cameron stepping in the car and getting the car prepared? I mean, I know y'all even added some extra foam in the seat for Cameron. And what was it like? What was the feeling in the gut, in the heart, that y'all got over 300 miles per hour as a team?
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. So not only did we accomplish our number one goal, which was make one run and hit 300 miles an hour. And we did that. We accomplished it, check mark. We went 301, by the way, Joe, not 300, 301. So there's that matters. We missed qualifying by 200s. It is what it is. That's fine. Yes, we got the qualifying money. Gary and I have been talking, 2 weeks prior to Indy of, are we going to go? Are we not going to go? Maybe we go, maybe we don't. And momentum, someone told me a long time ago, momentum is one of those things that it is so hard to gain, but it's easy to lose. And we had so much momentum leading up to the U.S. Nationals that we went to Indy 2, missed qualifying by 3,000s, went to Indy 3, qualified, and we were feeling really good about it. And so it's like, man, we want to run the car. We want to run the car. We learn by running the car. Every successful team, insert successful team name here, they've all had success because they ran the car and received the data from running the car, and then they're able to apply that to the next run and the next run. You can only do that by running the car. So Monday morning, Gary and I finally decide, man, let's go. We've got to got a piece of crew together. That's my responsibility. Gary's got to get the car there. It's his responsibility. We already know that Joe's got the prior commitment. So Gary was busy with work because Gary works full time. And he said, Matt, I need you to get a driver. I just texted Todd Payton. He probably can't do it. And that's when I said, man, what about Cameron? And he goes, man, it's funny. That's actually exactly who, Joe recommend and Todd recommend. So go ahead and call him. So I called Cameron, talked to him, bada bing, bada boom, put it together, ran the number. Working with Cam was awesome. Yes, I had to, we had to put a little bit of foam behind him. We had to adjust the seat belts, which, by the way, Joe, don't let me forget, I've got to readjust the lap belt down at the bottom because it's probably gonna be a little too snug for you. So I'm going to have to work on that. I just thought about that. But man, what a blast. What a fun weekend. Yes, we only made one run, but who cares? We made one run. It did exactly what we wanted it to do. And like Joe says, we cannot wait for Gainesville. We're chomping at the bit to get to Gainesville. We cannot wait to run the car again. We're beyond excited. The crew's excited. Joe's excited. Gary's excited. Man, just come on. I cannot wait until Friday morning and I catch a plane to get down there. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be great. And Matt, are you saying Joe's a little bit heftier than Cameron? I mean, what's going on there, man? I mean, got to adjust the belts.
Well, yes, Joe's more muscular than Cameron. He's much more muscular.
I like how you did. I like how you handled that. I like how you handled that. More muscular than Cameron. Yes, muscular. Thank you. Well, I just know this: if y'all were going to put me in the car, there'd have to be a whole lot of adjustment in those belts. Definitely. All right, guys. Look, a lot of excitement, obviously, for Gainesville. Joe, you're going to be stepping in a car that's got the potential to go over 300. A car that's got the potential to get below the 4 seconds. And Gainesville is the Gatornationals. It's one of the big four. As a driver, making that field, running a Gatornationals, what do you think of it, man? What's your perspective on it?
Well, like you said, Lee, it is one of the big historic events. Really, when I think of races that I want to run, Indy, of course, Pomona is high on my list. I'm sad that my home track of Englishtown is gone because Raceway Park in Englishtown was one of those classic events. But then there's the Gators, man, and it's look, that's where Kenny Bernstein first made his 300-mile-an-hour run, the first 300-mile-an-hour run in the sport. Hey, maybe I'll get my first 300 there. I think we will. Honestly, I have all the confidence in the world in Gary and Matt and the team. So I'm excited. And, it's funny, as we were having struggles early on with the car and getting me licensed, originally I was supposed to license Monday after the Gatornationals in March. And I truthfully, I'm thankful that the schedule got changed because now, I get to actually run the race this year. and not have to wait till next year for the Gators. So, no, man, classic event. I'm just tickled pink to be able to go out there and do it. So, yeah, no, I'm just excited, really excited.
Awesome, man. Well, look, you mentioned Englishtown, sadly a drifting pad now there for the drag strip. Chris Ramos asked, though, hi, Joe, what track do you consider home? So what is the home track for you, Joe, real quickly before we go back to Matt?
You know, it's funny. I have there are several tracks that I have great relationships with. First and foremost, home for me would have to be Island Dragway in New Jersey, up in Great Meadows, New Jersey. My mom and dad were friends with the original, the folks, Ed and Kate Kowalik, that started the track. And I consider Melissa and Carl Milano, Melissa is Ed and Kate Kowalik's granddaughter. So third generation running that track. I consider Melissa and Carl good friends. And again, you know, I was there racing last weekend, running a nostalgia funny car at Island Dragway. You know, Island is home for me. Obviously, it's too small of a track to be to run a national event at. Now my first ever win, really, and I got them back to back. We had I used to race with a nostalgia group called NITO, the Northeast Timing Organization, running a 7-second Fiat Altered. So my first wins actually came at Maple Grove. So Maple Grove has a homey feel for me. You know, it's kind of cool to get my first win on Saturday and my second win on Sunday in back-to-back races. It's kind of like once we found the winner's circle, we decided we were going to stay there. So that's got a lot of history for me. Atco Raceway in New Jersey. I got my competition license there in 2001 on September 11th, 2001. So Atco has a special place in my heart. So yeah, I know, long answer for a short question, but yeah, so really Island Dragway is home. But there are certain tracks around the area that you know, I've got a lot of history with, and especially racing in the Northeast and all the match racing I've done. So, you know, oh, good Lord, there's probably a dozen tracks that I have great memories at, and many, many, many more that I've been to that I've enjoyed. And I'm looking forward to getting on the circuit. But Gainesville this weekend, I just can't wait. I mean, it's just such a historic event. Kind of a neat story too. Mike Urich, who is the track manager there, used to race with my dad at Island Dragway back in the 60s. And actually, you see, as you guys can see, I'm in the car right now. We're heading back from Florida. I was at a Right to Breathe, the Drag Race for a Cure event at Bradenton. Was a bracket race. I was just in Bradenton this past weekend with David Pike Jr. and the Drag Race for a Cure, and they donate. Half of that money was donated to cystic fibrosis. David's daughter has CF. And then the other half of the money was actually donated to Right to Breathe. So I'm driving home to work for a couple days and then driving back down to Gainesville for the Gators. So I saw Mike Urich this morning as I was dropping my trailer off over there with all the Right to Breathe supplies. So I want to take this moment to let folks know if there are people that are at risk for lung disease or people that have questions living with COPD. You know, my real passion project is the nonprofit is Right to Breathe. And we will be in the Midway at the Gatornationals. So we will have respiratory therapists there to answer questions. We're not doing the free lung screenings. Our medical director for the nonprofit won't let us because, and rightfully so, because of COVID, because you can't contain, you know, the exhale when you're doing the lung function test. So sorry, I'm taking us on a tangent. Hey, look, if John Force can do it, I can take us on a tangent too. But Right to Breathe will be in the Midway at the Gators. So I'm doubly excited to be driving first and foremost, and secondly, excited that Right to Breathe will be there in the Midway.
Well, man, I think that fits definitely in the time we're in. Right to Breathe, with everything going on, it definitely fits, and glad that passion project is moving forward for you. Look, Chris Ramos asked this very quickly. Who signed off on your license after completing it? Who were the individuals?
So the two drivers that signed off on my license were Dom Lagana and Austin Prock.
All right, there it is.
So
Dom Lagana.
So keep praying for Dominic, please.
Yes, right. And
Yeah,
let's hope Austin's back out there soon.
Yeah, Austin, I shot him a message on Instagram not too long ago, and he's excited to get back out there next year too. But yeah, because coming from New Jersey, and how many times have I seen Bobby Sr. and the ramp truck leaving E-Town? You know, and I've talked with Dominic over the years, and so the Lagana's great people, and I was honored to have Dom sign off on my license.
Very cool, man. Very cool. We're going to bring Matt back in just in a few moments. Hang on for me. Folks, thank you in the comments section for saying hello and to myself, to Joe, to Matt, and we're glad to have you. And you know, shout out to Beer Hounds Beer Review from Orange County, California, Tammy Powers. Rich, you've got a great comment here. Leverich Racing Team rocks. And with that, we're going to bring in the car chief. Matt, look, going to the Gatornationals at a completely different time of the year in which we usually do go, do you throw the notebook out of the window, or you think it's going to play in the hand of a smaller team over the bigger teams? Where do you think performance-wise you're going to be looking to find that perfect spot to get down a track that maybe never seen before for a national event at Gainesville for the Gators?
Sure, great question. Tough question. Since we're at sea level, that helps a lot. As far as it being an advantage to us, I doubt it. I think the bigger teams, man, they're going to be teeing off on the weather. The biggest factor is going to be, you know, just the barometer. But man, the big teams with the really big borderline unlimited budgets, they can just about tee off whenever they want to. And looking at the weather, as long as the rain stays away, I think the water grains will be a little bit high, but I still think they're going to tee off pretty good. But, you know, we're still excited regardless. I mean, just give us a track, give us a lane, and we want to send it. We make no bones about it. We are shooting to go into the threes. We feel like we can, you know, a low to mid three would be ecstatic to us. Do we think we can get the car in the high 80s? Yes. Are we trying for that this weekend? Probably not. We're probably shooting for 92, 93, 94, maybe a 95. But that's it, flat out. I mean, we'll flat out show our cars and say that's what we're hoping to run. We feel like that's what that track can hold as of right now. And man, we're gonna lay the wood to it and see what we can do.
Hey, lay the wood to it, see what y'all can do. And the performance, as you've mentioned, it's there. The momentum is there. Keep it rolling, keep it going. Exciting to see what Leverich Racing can do at the Gatornationals. Now, you have mentioned a name, both you and Joe, through this live stream, Gary. Now, who is Gary? Explain to us who Gary is, his role with the team, and what he's even doing right now.
Sure. Gary Leverich, in 2 words, Gary Leverich is the man. Period. He's the man. Gary just texted me 10 minutes ago and let me know that he has to change the tires on our tow vehicle, his pickup truck, because one was flat and one was kind of wearing out. And unfortunately, it's a size that, you know, no one could really have anymore. So he had to special order him. Long story short, he had to pay $1,400 for all 6 new tires, and someone stole his spare. So he's now frantic trying to get all that taken care of, all while the fact he's having a little bit of an issue with the truck. And then this is the truck that we use to tow the trailer. And he's going to have to try to get that fixed. And man, Gary is just a constant nonstop. It's amazing what he can accomplish. He is a one-man crew. He has a full-time job. And then every night when he gets done with his job, his IT job, he drives to where the car is. The car is not at his house. The car is somewhere else. He has to drive there, work on the car till typically 10 or 11 o'clock at night, drive home, go to bed, and just rinse, drives, and repeats every single day. And he gets so much done on the car. He texted me last night and let me know, hey, I've already gotten this done and this done and this done and this done. And so, Matt, I need to make sure, can you please make sure we take care of this and this and this, and I'll take care of that because that's my role. But it's amazing how much Gary Leverich can do. He's passionate about this sport. He loves drag racing. Him and his dad and his family have been in drag racing for 50, 60 years. It's what Gary loves to do, and he is so passionate about it, and he wants to be so prepared for Joe and the driver and the fans and the crew. And it's just amazing to me how much he gets done in a little amount of time. And he wanted to be on this call with us, but when I asked him, he said, man, between work and working on the car, I don't have any time. So, but yeah, Gary Leverich is the man.
There you have it, folks. The car chief is the man and getting a lot done. And yeah, it would have been great to have him on the call, but certainly understand that he's got to get things ready for Gainesville and everything going on. We'll have him on one day, though, and folks can definitely connect with Gary, the crew chief there, and further understand who Leverich Racing is. It's such a cool deal with the team. Look, I'm going to bring Joe back in as well, and we're going to close with this one last question. Chris asks, any plans for next year? I think from what I understand, there's some great things in store for Leverich Racing next year. Clue us in. Joe, what's up for next year?
So I can't go into all the details as to who we're speaking with right now, but there are several companies that are very interested in partnering with Leverich for next year. A couple of cool things that I think will be a great fit for the team as a family team. I mean, Leverich Racing has, like Matt said, has been a family racing operation since 1959. Okay, so a great family operation, and listen, I consider Matt like family, and Mickey and Dina and the whole crew. So to have that atmosphere there, then it makes sense for us to bring on partners and sponsors that are family oriented organizations. Right, the culture is a good fit. When we're looking at sponsors, then that culture is a big deal. Because we want to make sure that we ideally are looking for long-term relationships with our marketing partners. So I wish I could be more specific, other than our goal is, truthfully, the goal is to be able to do like 12 races next year. So let's see what happens. I feel very good in our chances to making that happen. Let's just say that.
No, stellar, man. It's good to hear that there are some irons in the fire and that they are white hot. That's definitely good to hear for 2021. Matt, from your perspective, you look ahead into 2021. What are some things as the car chief that you would like to see happen to further the performance, further the team, and possibly go rounds in 2021?
Oh man, so art standpoint, we've got the linear in the clutch. We want to get clutch stops. We feel like the next best thing for us is getting clutch stops in there. That'll help us take the next level. Gary and I are already talking about, eventually we need to upgrade heads. We're still on stage 5 heads, which, for those who follow drag racing, stage 5 heads are 20, 25 years old. We still run them. We need to upgrade to 6.5 or stage 7 heads. That's a whole nother learning curve, but we feel like with clutch stops and maybe 6.5 stage 7 heads, that's going to be even better performance for us. So we always want to get better. We want to get faster, but we got to be smart. We are on a ridiculously small budget. So Gary and I are always having to look at the bottom dollar. Look, what you don't want to do in this sport is start trying to go faster than you can afford. Once you try to start going faster than you can afford, it's a slippery slope, and you start hurting parts, and then you get behind the 8 ball from a tuning aspect. So next year goals, continue to learn. Continue to keep the crew that we have coming in. Our crew is amazing. It's so much easier for me to do my job when the crew is all in, just like Joe Morrison is all in and Gary Leverich is all in. When the crew comes in to help us, like I saw a comment of Brian Golick, guys like Brian Golick, Dina Mashburn, Mickey Majors, Todd Dexter, it's just automatic. It makes my job easier because they want to be there. They want to do the best they can. And we want to go racing. We want to go have fun, and we want to go have racing. To us, this is just a hobby. All of us have normal jobs. All of us are just trying to go have fun. I think so many teams in Top Fuel and Funny Car can go faster than us. Pretty much everyone can go faster than us if they wanted to. But I don't think anybody's having as much fun as we are. We are having a blast, and fans notice that when they come by and they can just interact with us and talk with us. And sorry, just like Joe said, I'm going off on a tangent. I apologize for that. But we just want to have fun. We want to have fun next year. We want to go rounds when we can. We want to break some hearts. I mean, that's what it's all about. We want to make it to where, holy crap, how am I going to get the crew home on a Sunday night when I've got all their flights booked and we're going into the 3rd round? How am I going to make that happen? Well, I don't know. I'm fine with that problem. That's a great problem to have. I feel like this weekend is going to be a good weekend for our team. And I think we're going to raise some eyebrows this weekend. I'm calling our shot, just being flat out. I'm calling our shot. I think we are going to really impress some people this weekend, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I just cannot wait for this year. We're excited about next year. We're excited to, go, like Joe said, if we can do 12 races, awesome. If it's 8 or 10, fine. As long as we go and we have fun and we can make the fan experience enjoyable. We want the fans to have fun. That's why we double whack the throttle. We don't do it from a performance standpoint. We do it for the fans. The fans like it. And truth be told, we like it. It's fun for us. I mean, we're fans too. We love going out there and watching other teams run low 70s, and we're going, holy crap, that was a great run. Wow, good job. You know, we want to have fun too. So we're just excited. We cannot wait for this weekend. We cannot wait for next year. We're excited about the irons that we have in the fire. We hope they pan out. And man, come on 2021.
Well, there it is. A lot of positivity for Leverich Racing with Joe and Matt. Guys, look, thank you for being on this broadcast, cluing folks in with this pre-Gainesville Leverich Racing update. So, guys, look, I'm going to drop you out and hang in studio for me for just a few moments as I close this broadcast out. Thank you, guys. Well, folks, there you have it. Joe Morrison, Matt Hanley, there with the Leverich family racing team, top fuel in the NHRA. Very quickly, Braden, look, man, thank you for watching. And he also asked, look, what's the future for me? What's next season look like? Let me say this on my next season, since that was asked. I'm going to continue between the slicks. I love doing it. Hopefully have high-quality guests on from throughout the world of drag racing and car culture. And we'll see. I hope to get into some live streaming with iRacing. That's on the docket. Hopefully even have a Motorsports Monday type of show that's not a drag racing centric show, but clues into other forms of motorsports, from NASCAR to motocross. I love anything with a motor, but definitely want to continue to further my relationship with teams in the NHRA. Hey, the Leverich gang, they're looking for sponsorship. Reach out. They're going to be a hot car for Gatornationals. Get your name on that car. Reach out to them. Also, if you like what you saw here today and you need someone to facilitate for your team something just like this, reach out to the Monday Morning Racer, myself. We'll help you out, because one thing I do love, I love these small independent teams. They make drag racing great, and frankly, they make drag racing possible. Well, look, until Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Between the Slicks, I'm signing off. I'm the Monday Morning Racer. Until next time, God bless and keep the pedal to